Welcome back to another episode of Celebrity Facial Aesthetic Analysis. Today we have a very special guest on our visual canvas, the iconic Natalie Portman. Have you ever wondered what it is about her face that makes her so captivating? Many would argue that her most attractive features are her nose width, chin length, and the ratio of her mouth width to nose width. These features contribute to a balanced and harmonious facial structure, enhancing her natural beauty. But no one is perfect, not even Natalie Portman. Despite her undeniable attractiveness, there are some features that don't quite meet conventional standards. For instance, her eye height, the margin between her eye and eyebrow, and the ratio of her interpupillary width to her bizygomatic width. Let's delve into the details. Natalie Portman's nose width measures at 118 pci units. The ideal, according to research, is 181 units. When it comes to nose width, smaller is often considered better. To illustrate, let's compare some celebrities. Rumor Willis, for instance, has a smaller nose width of 105 units. Research at the Catholic University of Roma in Italy found that a nose width of less than a quarter of the facial width often contributes to the perception of beauty. Helena Bonham, on the other hand, has an ideal nose width range of 125 units. Another study supported this, with nearly 65% of respondents leaning toward women with smaller nose proportions. The paper published by Doug Jones from the Department of Anthropology at the University of Michigan reported that a youthful face was one that combined a high ratio of neurocranial to lower facial features, with a small nose, ears, and full lips. The neoclassical canon theory even proposes that the ideal female nose width is about 1/5 of the facial width. The team from the Department of Otorhinolaryngology at the Erasmus Medical Center set up a study to investigate this. They wondered if the ideal female nose width indeed measured approximately 1/5 of the width of an individual's full face. The study concluded that the more a nose deviated away from the average composite, the lower the attractiveness score of that nose was. So, while Natalie's nose width doesn't hit the ideal mark, her smaller measurement contributes to her unique beauty and charm. How significant chin length is for facial attractiveness? Natalie Portman's chin length measures at 106 pci units, while the ideal value is 149 units. Why a shorter chin is more attractive than a longer one? To illustrate, let's look at some celebrities. Ho Yeon-young has a shorter chin length of 92 units. A study found that very attractive female faces have more feminine features, like a smaller chin and higher cheekbones. Allure, for instance, has an ideal chin length of 107 units. A paper demonstrated that larger protruding chin tubercles are typically male features, aiding in gender differentiation. Victoria Pedretti, on the other hand, has a larger chin length of 118 units. In a study where men rated the attractiveness of women, they preferred baby-like features such as a small chin, small nose, and big eyes. These features also dictated their preferences to date, help, and be sexually attracted to these women. A study at the Institute of Neuroscience demonstrated that fetal development in females often reduces chin width, enhancing attractiveness. So, Natalie's shorter chin length, along with Ho Yeon, Allure, and Victoria's, contributes to their overall attractiveness and individual charm. Now let's see how the ratio of mouth width to nose width affects attractiveness. Natalie Portman's mouth width to nose width ratio measures at 1.64, where the ideal value is 1.5. Why is a larger ratio of mouth width to nose width considered attractive? It is calculated by measuring the distance from the outer corners of the mouth and comparing it to the width of the nose. If you notice, Jennifer Hawkins has a larger mouth width to nose width ratio of 1.84. Studies such as one that examined facial canons in different populations suggest that it is generally more attractive for the mouth width to be approximately 1.5 times larger than the nose width. Christina Applegate, for example, has an ideal mouth width to nose width ratio of 1.41. Iris Baker, on the other hand, has a smaller mouth width to nose width ratio of 1.18. So, while Natalie's mouth width to nose width ratio is above the ideal, just as with Jennifer, these varying ratios contribute to their distinct attractiveness. Have you ever wondered the role of eyes in facial attractiveness? With an average height of 36 pci units, Natalie Portman's eye height falls below the ideal value of 61 units. But why are larger eyes often seen as more attractive? The sexual selection suggests that men prefer women with baby-like features, such as big eyes. The Medical University of Bialystok, for instance, found that digitally increasing the eye size of female participants increased their attractiveness. It's simple: men prefer women with big eyes. Studies of facial aesthetics and mate choice preferences frequently find a woman's eye size and indeed her nose size to be the biggest influences on her overall facial attractiveness. In a conference paper presented by Mitsuhiro and Kataoka in 2016, it was found that both the roundness of the eye and the proportion of the eye covered by the iris increased the perceived likability, attractiveness, and beauty of females. Let's compare Billie Lourd with a higher eye height of 43.65 units, Nicole Richie with an ideal eye height of 40 units, and Kirstie Alley with a shorter eye height of 23 units. Interestingly, a larger eye size not only boosts a woman's attractiveness, but also enhances her perceived honesty, confidence, and warmth. So, even if Natalie Portman's eye height is below the ideal, her eyes, like those of Billie, Nicole, and Kirstie, continue to captivate us in their unique ways, reminding us once again that beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. The ideal value for the eye-to-eyebrow margin sits at 101 pci units. However, Natalie Portman's score is lower, which measures 62 units. So, why are high-set eyebrows more attractive than low-set ones? A research study at the University of Regensburg in Germany included participants from various age groups, who ranked high eyebrows as the most attractive. High-set eyebrows are indeed associated with feminine features. In fact, 2 separate studies have confirmed that high-set eyebrows are a sexually dimorphic feature. The eyebrow height was found to be significantly greater in females than in males. Research also indicates that the attractiveness of the eye-to-eyebrow distance is influenced by the overall face shape. For example, shorter and rounder faces are considered most attractive with high-set and curved eyebrows, while square or longer faces are seen as more attractive with lower-set and flatter eyebrows. Thus, the ideal eyebrow placement can indeed vary with individual facial aesthetics. Let's see some real-life examples. Here we have Billie Lourd with a wider eye-to-eyebrow margin of 73.34 units. Nicole Richie hits the ideal range of 73.34 units. Laura Dern, on the other hand, has a shorter eye-to-eyebrow margin of 41 units. Beauty, as we see it, is a complex interplay of numerous factors, each contributing to a unique and captivating visage. If we notice Natalie Portman's interpupillary width to bizygomatic width ratio, which is measured at 0.45, her score is on the lower end because the ideal ratio is 0.49. So what makes a larger ratio attractive? Interpupillary width is the distance between the centers of the pupils, and bizygomatic width is the distance between the cheekbones. A greater ratio gives the appearance of larger eyes compared to the face, which is considered attractive among females. Several factors like eye size, the distance between eyes, and cheekbone shape can influence this appearance. According to a study where participants were selected during beauty competitions, found attractive young women and men had longer eye fissure lengths on both the right and left sides. Another study asked 80 participants to evaluate the perceived attractiveness of female eye regions. They found that people prefer faces with larger soft tissue around the eyes, and youthful features, supporting the neonatal faceness hypothesis of facial attractiveness. Let's look at some examples. Anya Taylor-Joy has a larger ratio of 0.51, and Sammy Giancola fits the ideal ratio with 0.46, and Minnie Driver, however, has a shorter ratio of 0.42. Which of her facial features do you find most attractive? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are curious about your own facial aesthetics, visit pinkmirror.com. Which celebrity do you want to analyze next? If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, stay beautiful.